Hey, Slater here, and welcome to Music of the Month for January 2022, where I'm going to be talking about some albums, EPs, some singles, and everything else music related for this past month. For albums, let's start off with some projects that I really wanted to put an official review out for, but ran out of time near the end of the month. First off being Earl Sweatshirt's latest album, Sick. Earl's latest release is a solid one. I think many were expecting something grand and genre defining, especially after his project Some Rap Songs from 2018. I don't find this album to be amazing, but I also don't think it's a disappointment by any means. In fact, I find it to be quite good. Some of my favorite things about this album are some of the samples and some of the production styles on songs like 2010, Lobby, or Titanic. And as always, Earl's delivery makes it hard to catch on and immediately love some of these songs, but the more I listen to it, and more importantly, the more I understand it, the more I like it. My favorite songs on this are 2010, Lie, Lobby, and Titanic, and as for a rating, I give this project a 7 out of 10. Next up is FKA Twigs with her mixtape, Capri Songs. Capri Songs? Capri Songs? Capri Songs. This project is fantastic. I wasn't really sure what to expect after only recently getting into her 2019 release, Magdalene, and I really loved that, but this mixtape was great. The concept of mixtapes is something that has been devolving in hip-hop over time, especially with artists like Chance the Rapper or Young Thug, who are releasing these so-called mixtapes, but they really have album-like quality. But this is a nice return to what a mixtape should feel like, in my opinion. And of course, that's not a diss to Chance the Rapper or Young Thug. They make some great projects, it's just I don't think some of their early work should be considered mixtapes. This mixtape is very fun, has a lot of diverse sounds, and has some really good songs you can pluck out on their own, or if you just want to sit through and listen to this from start to finish, you can also do that. My favorite songs are Tears in the Club, Poppy Bones, Jealousy, and The Joint with Georgia Smith, and I think this is right up there with Dawn FM by The Weeknd as my favorite project of 2022 so far. I think this mixtape is an 8 out of 10. Now we have Cordae's From a Bird's Eye View. Probably the most talked about hip hop project in January besides Gunna. A lot of people think this album is too boring to be good. A lot of people think it's mediocre. Some people think it's great. My favorite one-sentence review of this album comes from Sean C, where he said this album is so decent it's boring, as he criticized Cordae for sounding too much like J. Cole. And that's how you know the J. Cole comparisons are true, because already so many people are saying Cordae is boring. While I don't enjoy this project as much as his solo debut, The Lost Boy, I think this is a worthwhile follow-up, and I think he delivered on the hype that he'd been building up for so long. I think some of the features are underwhelming on this project, and though I can understand why some people think Cordae is boring on this album because he isn't saying anything crazy and oftentimes he doesn't rap or sing in a crazy way, I think he manages to do enough to keep me interested from start to finish on this project. My favorite songs on this album are Want For Me, Chronicles, Westlake High, and Gifted, which may be my favorite Cordae song ever with one of my favorite Roddy Ricch features, and I think From a Bird's Eye View is a 7 out of 10. I also just want to give a shout out to some of the other projects I listened to in January after being curious. We have Code of the Friends, Lyrics to Go, Volume 3, NBA Youngboy's Colors mixtape, NLE Choppa, Me vs. Me, and Ian Dior's On to Better Things. I don't think any of these are amazing projects that I'm going to save and come back to, but they were somewhat enjoyable on my first couple of listens. Code of the Friends is giving you some bars and some good rapping over decent instrumentals for like 20 minutes straight. NBA Youngboy releasing yet another mixtape in his prolific release schedule, and while he tries some sounds that really work for me, others don't really land and don't really sound as good to me. NLE Choppa providing some maybe playlist songs for some of the younger rap fans out there. And Ian Dior fulfilling your needs if you need some of that melodic rap with a touch of some punk, emo, adjacent vibes. For EPs, the only EP that I remember listening to this month was Brightside by Rich Brian. Nobody really talked about this EP, or at least I had never really seen anybody talking about this EP, but I think it's really good. Whether you've listened to Rich Brian or not, I feel like this has some exciting sounds. The production is amazing, Rich Brian brings it as he always does, and it's so short, it's like, how could you not listen to it? I'm always impressed by 88 Rising whenever I listen to their stuff, but this release in particular caught me by surprise. So now I'm gonna quickly run through some singles that I heard in January, and I'm gonna break them down into 3 parts. Either I thought they were fire, they were just passable, or I didn't really care for them, I'd say they were blah. The first single I want to talk about is Shinsia with Dolly. I'm not really feeling this. Normally I really like Shinsia's voice, but it has this annoying auto-tune voice on the song, and nothing else to really offer for me. Blah. Next we have 2 Chainz with $1 Million Worth of Game. I think this is passable. It has this loud and hard bass hitting instrumental mixed with 2 Chainz and 42 Dugg going back and forth on this like Atlanta and Detroit collab. I still have high hopes for 2 Chainz's album that just came out as the time of me recording this now. I still haven't listened to it yet, but I think I'm gonna like it. Next we have Babyface Ray with Dancing with the Devil. This song is just passable. It's just a chill vibe. I mean, I wouldn't mind if this song came out on the radio or if I was out somewhere and I heard this song, but this isn't something I'm gonna be saving into a playlist or something I'm gonna be listening to on repeat. Earth Gang, All Eyes on Me. fire. Earth Gang just brings like something refreshing to hip hop that you just don't see very often anymore, and I know they get a lot of comparisons to Outkast, unfairly to them, but this has me really exciting for the next coming album, Ghetto Gods, which I think is going to be fire as well. Next up, we have JID with Surround Sound. JID is one of those rappers who's under a lot of pressure right now to deliver, since a lot of rap fans are anticipating his next release, The Forever Story. So far, he's off to a really good start with a lot of the features he's been doing recently, and this single just adds on to that. I really love 21 Savage's performance on this thing, and though I wish Baby Tate had a bigger spot on this and it kind of ended after her part, I still think the single is fire. Next, we have The Game and Kanye with their track Easy Blah. The Game did his thing on his verse, and I love the instrumental as it features that classic hip-hop sample, but this song was and forever will be about Kanye's part as he continues to be, you know, the main headliner for major music news. And while his verse isn't bad and he actually manages to have some nice lines here and there, this is just a too personal and uncomfortable listen for me to come back and listen to time and time again. Rod Wave, Cold December, it's fire. Rod Wave is one of those artists who I feel like is just allowed to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, but we don't mind because it works. I mean, his voice is angelic as always, and the instrumental hits on this song. I think this single is fire. DaBaby and NBA Youngboy, hit. I think NBA Youngboy really carries the song for the most part, but DaBaby doesn't slack on his part, so I think this song is just passable. Which is really ironic for something that's named Hit. I don't think the song is gonna do as well as it maybe intended to do. Walkin' by Denzel Curry, it's fire. This is the song of the year so far as I'm concerned. I don't really need to talk about this for too long. I love the video, I love the song. Denzel is one of the most creative minds that we have in the genre right now, and I'm super excited to listen to his new album. It's fire, let's keep it moving. Gucci Mane, Rumors featuring Lil Durk. It's passable, it's passable. Let me play it.
Take heat, fuck these niggas up. First, he a junkie, he ain't shot his gun, yeah, he blame Purse. Shot a
I don't know, that Take Keith instrumental was crazy. Gucci Mane, Rumors featuring Lil Durk is fire. I mean, the instrumental we get from Take Keith and the incredible performance we get from Lil Durk, Gucci Mane really didn't have to do anything on this song, and his part is just okay, he doesn't ruin it, but yeah, this honestly wasn't what I was expecting when these two were coming together for this song, but yeah, this is fire. Rex Orange County with Keep It Up. I wasn't really anticipating anything from Rex Orange County, so I was surprised when he announced his next album was gonna be coming out and he was dropping this song. So yeah, this song is a pleasant surprise. It's a cool return from him that grows on me with each listen, so for now I think it's passable, but it has potential to move up to fire eventually. Toro y Moi, Postman, fire. I mean, it's Toro y Moi. I think he's just allergic to missing at this point. This new single is funky. I love Magazine as well, and I'm really excited to hear his upcoming project, Mahal, if that's how it's pronounced. Saba with Come My Way, it's fire. I love the artwork for all the singles that he's been releasing for promotion of his upcoming album, which just released as of the time of me recording this. I haven't listened to all of the singles that he's released, but so far this has been my favorite out of the bunch, and I'm really excited to give a listen to his latest album. We have Benny the Butcher and J. Cole with Johnny P's Caddy, fire. J. Cole is off to the hottest start of the year so far in hip-hop, and this is feature of the year so far. So many good bars from J. Cole, one of his best feature performances, which is really saying something because he always brings it with features, and Benny just handles his own too, which is impressive. He didn't get bodied on his own track. Next, we have Coi Leray with Anxiety. The forced hatred towards Coi Leray has always been weird to me because I witnessed her just being an up-and-coming artist that made alright music to being one of the most hated artists of 2021 for seemingly no reason. It's not like she's really problematic or she's like a mean or bad person. She just makes a lot of fun music, has a really fun personality, and she's just not, you know, one of the best musicians out there, but she receives a lot of hate for it for some reason. So people just use her and use her name as a means to get some instant gratification clout and get a couple of likes and comments on TikTok or Twitter or something like that. Anyways, this is probably my favorite song that I've heard from her. She still keeps that pop and kind of friendly approach with the cool instrumental, but she talks about something that I really haven't heard her talk about before with her depression and her anxiety. So we often don't get to hear that in her music, and I think the single turned out well, so it's fire. Nigo and A$AP Rocky with Aria. This song is passable. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm really excited for Nigo's upcoming album. I mean, I'm really excited for A$AP Rocky being more active in music, especially after Anyways, I think this is one of the cases where A$AP Rocky being a featured artist and just having his name on the song is actually cooler and a lot better than his actual performance on the song. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it's not amazing or fire either. This song is just passable to me. Next we have Quavo with Shooters Inside My Crib. I really love the artwork for this single, and I actually thought it was the artwork for Kanye's upcoming release Donda 2, especially after Kanye promoted it on his Instagram. And though the song doesn't really seem to match the energy of the song title to me, I still think this is a good single from Quavo. I'm excited to see what the Migos have in store since they've kind of ran through their Culture trilogy and they've all explored solo projects and established themselves as solo artists. So I think the song is passable, but I'm excited to see what the future holds for all the Migos. Finally, we have SSG Kobe with Don't Miss. He don't miss. He don't miss. He don't miss.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Okay, but when talking about some of the best young and upcoming rappers, there are a lot of names that are thrown out there, and reasonably so, but I feel like one of the names you have to mention is SSG Kobe. I love everything he releases, and this single just falls right in line with that. This single is fire. Alright, so I know that was a lot of music, but that was my Music of the Month recap for January 2022. Be sure to let me know what some of your favorite releases of last month were, and hopefully if you missed something in January, this video allows you to go back and listen to something new for you. I still have a lot of music myself to go and listen to, so I'll get back to it, but be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to show support, and until next time. You look like the girl of my dreams. Yeah, you look like the girl of my God save me from that crash, just so I could beat Pete Davidson's ass. Who?